It is May the 16th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec site in the St.simons Sound. We got out early today, and beautiful morning, but I think I want to start today and talk about responsibility. And responsibility to the guys that are out here working on this project, for their safety, for their well-being, for the things that really count. The responsibility to this estuary, to this environment, to the people of this community who are depending on this ship removal in a very safe yet clean manner. We're really getting into this thing, and after the fire, it's just disheartening to see what's going on with the operation, and we're just really hoping that this thing can come to a conclusion safely and efficiently and cleanly. We're all depending on this operation to get the ship out of here. And we really want that done without seeing anyone get hurt and without the environment being damaged. There's a lot of stuff going on. The fire has caused a lot of other problems, we understand. There's probably going to be some delays. Don't know how long those are going to be. But it is a concern. And I know this is not my typical report that I put out, but in light of the fire and thinking about how the process has gone, the experimental part of this operation needs to cease. It is getting to the point where I understand that this has never been done like this before here in this country, and we're learning as we go. Let's turn it out to be a very expensive learning curve for the community. I'm sure for the stakeholders and for these guys that are working out here on this ship. They've been away from their families for quite a long time. We know that they're probably getting anxious to finish the project, and having more and more setbacks is certainly probably the last thing these guys want to see. As part of the report, what we've done here today is we went out and made a circle this morning. We saw many things, and we saw there's more debris and more burnt contaminants that we see in the water. We know that we're dependent on the estuary to absorb those and Mother Nature to process them. We're hoping that this happens without too much long-term effects or concerns. But we circled the ship and we looked at some things, and we've just got some photography here and some video to look at the rig and maybe try to understand a few things what we're seeing. Now, cooling operations continue. Master streams are still out on the site, spraying on the ship and into it wherever possible. All through the cut lines, we could see streams being directed into the ship, trying to cool it. We don't know if the fire is completely out. We don't know if there's still hot pockets in it. I can just imagine, having seen a few car fires in my day, that it's very difficult in some areas to extinguish these types of fires because of the nature of a vehicle and how it's constructed, and being able to get extinguishing agent, in this case water, onto onto the fire in concealed areas, whether it be a closed engine compartment or underneath a dash or in a trunk area. Sometimes to completely extinguish those, it's necessary to actually go into those areas to get water onto those areas to extinguish the fire. So we can understand that this process of pumping the water onto the ship in an effort to cool it is going to continue, and I would expect to. The unfortunate side of this is that the environmental barrier on the north and the south gate now is completely open, just because they're having to move equipment in and out while all this is going on. And there is a lot of water that is going on and in the ship while all this is going on. So a lot of this burnt material now is small, it's broken up, it's gotten crispy, it's breaking off, and it's floating out, and it's creating a mess of sorts of contaminants now coming off the ship. Burnt plastics, rubber, headliners, just everything you can imagine that is used to construct a modern automobile. All these things, they're now being flushed out into the water, kind of unchecked, because the protective part that was supposed to hold all this stuff in is now opened, and it's just something to be concerned about. And hopefully they can get all this stuff taken care of, and to get that environmental barrier back into place as quickly as possible. As for damage to the VB10,000, I'm not sure whether we're just seeing what we're seeing is just sooting, and it's just covering the paint, or did the heat get in there and cause problems to some of the lifting mechanism or cutting mechanism, or for that matter, some of the tubes here that are welded in place that make up the superstructure of the VB10,000. Has any of this been compromised? I have no answer for that. I do not know. I would expect that the nature of the fire and the amount of heat that was generated, it would warrant a rather close inspection, a thorough inspection of those operating systems to ensure no hydraulic lines have been compromised, the cables have not been compromised. We can see here that there's a damaged strap there, one of the lifting straps. I'm sure that they have to be replaced, and all that can happen relatively easy, but it's something that needs to be looked at. And of course, that's a delay, and it's just as these delays have continued to mount up on the site, the frustration begins to set in, and people in the community are beginning to really lose patience with the operation, especially after such a visible event with that major fire on Friday. It's really become a focal of attention on what's going on, and the oversight that's out there. Is it adequate? Do we need more? Is something going on that maybe other people don't know about? Is there a breakdown of communication between the site and maybe unified command? There's just a lot of questions that are floating around, and hopefully we'll hear a press briefing from unified command where they can address some of these concerns, and maybe not even a press briefing, but maybe a community gathering where they come to the community and say, hey, we want to talk to you guys about what's going on out there. We think that would be at this point, it would be beneficial for the entire operation and the community. We could see the discoloration on the particularly that one block that would have been on the northwest corner of the rig. But what about the spreader bars there, and were they compromised in the heat cycle? A lot of questions. Yeah, and today, there were contaminants out on the water. Seeing a lot of debris that's out there, real small stuff, and it's right now. It's just going to have to happen with the barriers completely opening. This is the south gate pulled around. North gate is open as well. This material is just able to escape that well-constructed environmental barrier was supposed to contain all this stuff. Here we are in a situation where it's got to be open so they can have access with equipment to put the fire out, and that action has produced more debris. Just, just frustrating. Well, if you're watching the channel for the first time, I'm normally not like this. I usually just try to report it. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, I hope you guys can understand that beginning to get frustrated with the operation. As you know, I live here. I use the waterways. I fish. I boat, and it's really becoming disheartening to see this stuff continue and go on and delay. And more than anything, I guess I just want to say thanks for your patience today to allow me to vent. I hope you guys understand. Hey, as always, we're going to ask you, if you haven't done it, click on that subscribe button. If you don't mind, send us some comments. And hey, we really want you guys to stay safe out there.